Everyone laughed at the poor athlete's shoes, but when she won 3 gold medals, everyone was amazed. It's no secret that unfortunately nowadays, even doing what seems healthy for a person is very expensive when it comes to sports. More than that, the younger generation presently prefers to spend more of their time in front of a TV or a computer, and many of them do not need an active lifestyle and do not participate in sports. So even those teenagers who are ready eagerly to do any kind of sports cannot always afford it. It's not known how many future world champions of hockey, football, or other sports from our generation are irretrievably lost. And the reason for this is the high price of all the things necessary to participate in sports: equipments, accessories, uniform, shoes, including the price of joining a sports club. But unfortunately, it's not affordable for most people. This story will perhaps be a good lesson for many of us. The story is about a little girl who, despite all the obstacles in her life, decided to pursue her goals. She didn't really care if she had money or not because the most important thing for her was her desire. Ria Bulos, a small 11-year-old girl from the Philippines, went out for sports from her early childhood. She was not at all embarrassed by the fact that she was from all low-income family who could not afford to buy even basic things, not to mention professional sports equipments. But despite this, she worked hard every day using all sorts of improvised materials. Her peers mocked her, pointed at her, and called her a beggar. But she didn't care about it. She was a person who loved what she does. She didn't pay attention to what they said. She just went towards her goals. A few years later, a sports club for children was organized at a local school. Ria wanted to join the sport club very much. Her parents didn't know how to help her because they understand that they couldn't afford it. But the girl asked only about one thing: to give her the opportunity to join the club while her peers has all the conditions for training. Ria could only afford to run yards along the beach, and it became clear later that her desired and exhausted trainings brought her success. No one in the world would have known about the girl's story if not for what happened next. Ria took part in the international school competition, and it was good that it was held in the city of Ria's hometown because most likely she wouldn't have had the financial opportunity to go to the competition. At the very start of the race, all the people who were there began to whisper. Instead, they were surprised at what they saw in the great young athlete. The girl really wanted to take part in the competition, but since she didn't have any sneakers, she decided to make shoes out of tape. She wrapped her feet in tape and even drew the iconic Nike logo on them. In this way, she was taking part in the competition, but the most amazing thing happened a little later. Ria wore the tape shoes on her to take part in 3 races that day: the 400-meter, 800-meter, and 1500-meter. And to everyone's surprise, she ran the 400-meter race without any problems. She won the competition in the 800-meter race, and she also claimed gold in the 1500-meter race. The girl came home with 3 gold medals. The reporters who were at the competition were amazed at the young athlete. After such a success, which the head coach shared on social networks, the whole world recognized the name Ria Bolos. Everyone was inspired by her desire for victory and her love for sports. Of course, the post became popular, and help came from all different parts of the world. Thousands of people from all locations of the world wrote words of admiration to the little athlete and also sent the girl some sports equipment and shoes. A representative of a local sports shop store found out about this amazing achievement. The store manager decided to give brand new sneakers to the talented athlete and even invited her to choose the pair she liked her own. Naturally, Ria chose Nike sneakers. While she was choosing her shoes, she felt like a star. The store employees did not let her go till they took a selfie with her. As it turned out, she's not the only teenage athlete that used tape as shoes. Several participants in the competition also used this method, and now the media finally paid attention to them all. People wrote letters to them asking to give young athletes from poor families necessary parts of things for their sports. After this became known, the general manager for the sports and the sponsor of the Philippine Sports Association said that he will pay all the costs, and this once again proves to people that there's no barrier to success. The most important thing is desire and action. Of course, perhaps the world is not the most ideal, but it definitely should have a place for good deeds and inspiring stories such as Ria's story. In fact, in her new shoes, she's already won gold medals in many competitions. We hope that there will be a lot of great victories in her life, and she'll have a bright future. Do you like the story of this little girl who, in spite of everything, confidently made her way into the Olympics?